to hide the box.
Oh, well.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the discussion for Candle Magic for Beginners. I got my Kindle copy here. And excuse the mess that is me. I decided I couldn't be bothered to put actual clothes on, so you're getting pajama me today. Which is usually standard on this channel. I tend not to leave my pajamas very much when I'm home. But
I know the feeling.
I have my lovely co-host with me, as usual.
Hello.
So the format that we obviously read, I read ebook. Alicia had physical.
Yep.
What was your rating for it?
My rating, I'd say about 4.5.
I think that's pretty much what I gave it to. Jesus, interruption.
It always happens. Hello, Jessica.
It was our neighbor. No, that was his phone, so it was our neighbor. Hello, sister. But yeah, I think I gave it. Now that I'm blinking on my rating now, but I'm pretty sure I gave it like 4.5. If I'm remembering correctly. 4 stars, yeah. I surprisingly turned to the right page too. But what do you think of the setup of the book?
I think it was very, they thought it out and how they were gonna lay it out. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Very informational on some parts.
I definitely say they did the for beginners part really well, because it seemed like the way that they broke it down was definitely for beginners, like explaining the colors, the different types of candles you can use for what types of spells. I thought that was done really well. And in the first chapter, kind of explaining how the element of fire is incorporated into a lot of spell work and the history behind that and stuff. So I thought that was done really well.
Yeah, and the when they talked about the different types of candles, they also listed the burn time for each one.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was helpful because I actually did not know, I know candles burn for a long time, but depending on the type of candle, I did not know that some of them could go for days.
Yeah, I have one of those 7-day candles or jar candles that I got when our friend had passed away. That's in the other room, but I tend to, in my practice, I use a lot of chime candles, actually.
Those little ones. Yeah, I have those.
I actually bought some because there's one of the spells in this one. I actually bought some more to do, more white and pink candles when I was at one of my local stores. So these are the chime candles that they were referencing. But I tend to use these a lot for everything, even when I'm doing spell jars. I use this to seal. I'll light them enough to hold it where the wax will drip down on the bottle.
Yeah.
And use it for sealing. So I thought that was really helpful. And the power of colors. I definitely made a lot of notes about the different types of color. I have a whole thing in my Notion for my witchy stuff about colors. Yeah. And I didn't realize, just in the very first thing I see highlighted in this is that red is the sacred color of Lilith, and she's the one that I've been kind of dipping my toes into doing more research about to kind of work with her more, because of her being a really powerful goddess or deity to work with. So that was nice to know. I added that to my notes about Lilith.
Yeah, I do like that they they talk about each one, like pink being for Aphrodite, and you said red for Lilith. And they do have a lot of different colors.
Yeah, they like really broke down like not your standard colors. They went into like gold and silver color variations.
And I don't know if the ebook version has it, but even though they do like the colors of the candles in the book, in the back they also have like a table that like
Yeah,
just
like
does a quick
quick
breakdown.
research. Yeah, and they also have it in the ebook too. And the ebook is pretty good about having, I think, links to references where you can go into the back of the book.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least it links from the like content tense page to the whatever chapter, but it's really nice to be able to like if you're looking for something specific in the ebook, it like takes you directly to that. So that was nice. And I like the script, like the pictures that they have in here, or like I didn't know about the 7 knob candles. That was a kind of candle that I learned about.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I didn't know they had those. I knew they had the figure candles,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't know that there was a difference between like the pull-out candles and the novena candles.
Yeah, same. I thought they all kind of like work the same. Well, they technically do work the same, but you can keep the container that it's in and like replace candles as need be. So that's
Yeah.
pretty nice. Then taper candles as well, and how you can use fragrance in with your candles as well. That will have their own like magical benefits to it.
The
So like,
fragrances and the herbs and stuff like that.
yeah, so like I have to be careful because I actually have a candle lit here, but like this type of candle, apple cinnamon, is good for if you wanted to do like just get like a standard Glade candle and you want to do some sort of spell work with, you can do that.
Yeah.
Hello, cool gamer.
Hello.
Uh,
Welcome.
and then the chapter 4 goes over decleansing and charging and consecrating candles. So this is definitely a good resource to have. I never really I guess I've consecrated candles before, but I never really thought of it as being that. As just last week when I did some deity work with Hecate, I set up a candle with my invocation oil, and that's kind of consecrating a candle for her.
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever done. Like I always charge them and cleanse them, but I don't know if I've ever consecrated them.
Yeah. And it also has a witch tip that chapter, and it's everyday tools for drawing. You can use colored eyeliner pencils to easily draw sigils and images onto candles, so that's a good tip. I've always just used I'll just take like a pen that I don't really care for and try to like if I am carving a symbol or something into a candle and just use a pen to do that. But eyeliner is a good idea, especially if you have some like eyeliner that you should throw away that it's expired. You can always just use it on your candles.
It's kind of like I don't want to get rid of this, but I can't use it on my eye. So
Yeah.
how else can I use it? That's a good idea.
And I also appreciated that at the end of each chapter they kind of like summarize what like was going on in the chapter by like lighting the way. It's like as a reminder type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, reduce, reuse, and recycle, exactly. So Lord knows I have enough makeup I could probably reuse as something else. That I should probably reuse as something else. And then we have chapter 5, setting intentions and mastering spell work. I like how it goes into the different types of spell work you can do and gives you some information um, about how to set these specific intentions, articulate intentions through positivity, things like that. Just how to formulate your intentions. There's a witch tip for that.
And it even
And then
talks
this,
about your magical manifestations. Like you want to manifest it, but you don't want to just dive in. You want to really think about what your intentions are and manifestations for each spell, which was
yeah, and it actually has just like a section of when you cast a candle spell, it has like numbered steps of how to do that. If you are like super brand new to
yeah.
the like candle spell world, and how like if you should let the candle burn out or bury the candle, or like blowing out candles as offensive to fire spirits and scatters your attention, so you should snuff out candles instead of blowing out candles.
Yeah, I didn't know that. They were saying to like pinch it or like
Use a
snuff
like a
instead of just going.
Which makes sense, because if you're trying to like really trying to draw something to you, like
Mhm.
abundance and stuff like that, you don't want to blow the candle up, because you're just blowing away all that money kind of coming towards you. But if
Pretty
you're
much.
trying to banish someone, I would think doing that to banish somebody would be the best bet, though.
I
Because
almost
if you're
wonder
trying to,
if it's kind of like if you blow it, then it's kind of like you did all that spell work for nothing because you blew it out, so now it's not really gonna hold in a sense.
yeah,
I wonder if that's why.
possibly. And then it tells you how to like just properly dispose of spell work. You just got
Mm,
to be mindful if it's a man-made like candle, like with like, all the like toxic stuff in it. You don't want to bury it into the earth, because it's not gonna like go back into the earth very well, and it's just gonna cause harm to nature and stuff like that. But if it's like a beeswax candle, you're good to go.
yeah. Also, the reading of the flame and how
Mhm.
there's different like if it has a hard time lighting, then that means one thing versus if the candle flame is too high or too low or
Yeah, or if it splits into two or more flames. I didn't
yeah,
think about that, like when it splits. That was pretty interesting. And I know there's
or
a way you can like also read the wax as the candle is burning too, or whenever the candle is finished burning. If you can, it's a certain type of divination that you can do with candles.
or if the flame goes out in the middle of your spell work, then it basically means that there's nothing they can help you with at this time.
Yeah.
I
It's
didn't
like,
even know that was a thing.
yeah, part of me kind of knew that, if like about just from like my research about the height of like how high the candle burns, or when it like burns low, that it meant something. But when it has a hard time lighting, or like in the extra details to it, I didn't really think much about that. So it definitely gives you something to think about and to be mindful of when you're doing that.
Yeah.
And then part two, we get into the actual candle spells. When it comes to any type of spell work in types of books, I will read over the like what you kind of need for certain spells, and if I have most of it, or if it seems like something I would want to do, then I'll read over the spell to really make sure. But if it's something that I'm not really interested in, then I kind of tend to skip over, so I don't have all that much to say about some of these rituals.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same because I look at these as more of like reference. If it's something that I'm looking for, then yeah, I'll read through it and make sure I have what I need. Um, there was one It was like Cleopatra's self-love milk bath magic. That
Oh
one kind
yeah,
of seemed interesting, but the others, I'm just like, oh, I don't need those.
yeah. And I have the Cleopatra one bookmarked for something for me to look into doing later. Aphrodite's beauty ritual was a pretty like nice one too. Just as a glamour spell. Some of these
Hmm.
is more like I would do as more of like a self love type of thing because
Yeah,
I do need to practice better self love. Um, then there's Freya's catnip passion spice candle spell.
I
So
saw
that
that.
one's pretty interesting.
So there's a couple that are worth looking into.
Yeah. Sacred pillar of wellness to ward off illness and stuff like that.
Yeah, that
Apollo's
one was.
flame. And with a lot of these spells too, you're not really regulated to what it calls for. You can always tweak spells to make them more yours. And if you don't have something of that's called for in the spells, you can always replace it with something that you do have. You just have to do the research about the associations with it. I love that there's a Hecate's healing vigil ritual. So that's definitely one I would be interested in doing in the future. I
There
just
was
have to get
also,
a specific candle.
yeah, there's also the mental health magic one because it says that it's supposed to help with like stress and anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
That one might be one to look into.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a lot of interesting ones in here.
And they also like in the beginning of each chapter, like each chapter is broken, and part two is broken up by like what type of spell it is. So like for love, wellness, protection, and during those they have a box where it's like common items used for those specific spells. Like they break
Hmm.
down like what candles, the color, yeah, herbs, oils, stones, preferred time for it as well. So it's definitely something to keep an eye out, especially if you're like making up your own spells. It's a good reference to use, just in general. If you're like doing like a spell bag or something, um, you can always kind of go by off
I
this of what
agree.
is commonly used in it. Because I'm always looking like re-looking up stuff for like different associations with any of the herbs and crystals that I already have. Be like, what can I use you in?
Yep.
And I also love a good abundance spell. So chapter 9 was up my alley. I'm thinking about doing the Puck's Lucky Coin spell. So that
Oh
all
yeah.
you really need is a coin, a heat-proof dish, matches or lighter, one black or green chime candle for prosperity and balance. So that one is like a pretty easy one to do.
Yeah, that one does seem pretty easy.
Mercury's manifestation magic one seems pretty good to do. I think I have the candle colors for that because it calls for chime candles.
One
So
white
that's
and one green. Yeah.
well, and blue too.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Yeah, that kind of threw me off a little bit when they had blue first, and then they put it down a little farther. But yeah, when I saw that, I'm like, that's a good one. And it also gives you an idea um, of what to use a figure candle for, like the lucky cat candle.
Yeah.
Part of me was kind of considering getting a candle shaped as a cat just to do this one. And then a
That
honey jar spell. You need a big
all of
one.
these are pretty good. I mean, it just depends on what you would need them for, you know? Got plenty of mason jars. I could do the honey jar one.
Yeah, I think like it looks like the spells for enlightenment is a chapter that I didn't mark any specific spells to look into, but the very merry unbirthday wish spell seems pretty interesting though, and you get to have cake for that one.
I saw that one. A lot of these, I think, because there was another one, the Saint Expedite Quick Fix candle. That one
Mm.
also, you says that you need pound cake for an offering.
I mean, you can always have cake with any kind of saint that you want to work with. They'll be appreciative. Yeah, cake is always good. Cake is always a winner.
So I like that they're incorporating food as.
Mm-hmm. Trying to see if there's any other ones that have like food incorporated in it now. So far, it's only those two that I've seen, but I've definitely seen where herbs are, like the Cersei self transformation spell is using herbs. Because Cersei is known to be like working with herbs.
Yeah.
Her being a demigoddess. You have rosemary, lavender, bay leaf, and then dragon's blood oil. One spell that reminded me of something that Clint might like is the Druid's Circle of Serenity.
Yeah. Could screen capture it and send it to him.
Yeah. Be like, here you go, sir. And then at the end of it, it has kind of like a reminder chapter, let the flame burn bright. There's just tips that you can go through and that will help you grow and deepen your practice. Not to rush your rituals or spell work, even if you feel like you have a limited amount of time or privacy. Instead, wait until you can give the work your full attention. And also it goes into don't forget to look at the wax when the candle is done burning. Make sure you keep a journal or diary to write down and keep track of your spells. And the wax can be used for talismans and amulets. So I didn't think about that, but that is a good point.
Yeah, because I guess because I think at one point they were saying like it could take on a specific shape or symbol in a sense, so you can use that.
Yeah, like if you're I would think if you're incorporating a candle spell into like going back to like a spell bag, because spell bag is kind of like my jam lately. If you're doing like an abundance one or a protection one, you can always like burn the candle while you're putting the spell bag together for like a protection one, and when the candle is done burning, you can always put the bit of that wax from that candle into the spell bag and tie it with that intention in it.
That's very true.
Kind of gives it a little bit of oomph to it.
A little boost.
Yeah. And then, as you said, they have the tables of correspondences in the back of the book for candle colors, herbs, oils, days of the week, lunar cycles, stones.
Yep.
So.
It even gave some resources of like other books to check out, podcasts, supply shops that he has either visited or knows about. And then, of course, there's always a YouTube channel that you can use to find.
Mm-hmm. And the YouTube channel is actually how I heard about this author, because I do follow the Witch of Wanderlust on YouTube. She has really great videos. Her and Chaotic Witch Aunt is two of the big ones that I follow. So I highly recommend checking out Olivia's YouTube channel, The Witch of Wonderlust. I'll try to remember to like put the link to her channel in the description box, but she's definitely one I highly recommend. But the books, I'm interested in the first one that he recommended, The Element Encyclopedia of Secret Signs and Symbols. Great resource for looking up symbols you may see in wax streams in clouds. So,
No.
one I would like to kind of look into.
We can definitely look those up. Ow.
Yeah, it was a pretty short and sweet, good reference material. I'm gonna probably keep it in my Kindle Unlimited library for a little longer and like really look at some of those spells and see if those are ones I would like to get into. Since I did buy those candles recently, I have to remember which one I actually really wanted to do to actually work on. So get back to
I would definitely say check out the book because it is for beginners and it does have a lot of information and references, and it tells you how to like get started using candle magic and candles in general when you're doing your spell work. So I'll go back and read it and reference it and look at the spells and stuff, but I think it was
Yeah.
insightful enough that it can be used, and then you can kind of like cross reference and you can look at the stuff to say, okay, this is what I need, this is where I can get it, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I 100% agree. I would definitely like to see if the author has more books. I think this might be his only book. I'm not entirely
sure. I don't remember him having a lot, if any more than this. Let's see. Apparently, he's got a couple.
Mm-hmm.
He's got one, The Witch's Guide to Manifestation, Witchcraft for the Home, Throwing Bones, Crystal Stones and Curios, and then Witchcraft for Empowerment.
I definitely would be interested in the Witchcraft for the Home.
Yeah, same.
Because I am really big on doing like protection stuff for just our space, just period. Yeah. The manifestation one, it would be interesting as well. Oh, I do have the manifestation one marked as want to read anyways. But Throwing Bones does sound pretty good.
Interesting.
Like, yeah, for more divination type stuff. And I'm always big on divination. If the 50 billion ducks didn't say that already.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely add it to your wish list. Or I almost said wish list. Yeah, add it to your wish list.
Your witchy wish list.
Yes. Because I didn't see how much it was. Like, do you recall how much the book itself was?
I don't, but I can look it up real quick. I think I got it on Amazon. Candle Magic for beginners. $12.99 paperback. It's free if you do Kindle Unlimited.
Yeah, she doesn't have a device that can. For some reason, her tablet doesn't like Kindle stuff. So.
You can also get a 104 pack of chime candles for $30.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Well, it might be something good for me to invest in, considering like when I do like go use candles, I go through candles.
I will send you the link. It kind of popped up when I was looking at his books. Don't know why, but it did.
I'm trying to think of like what other books I can compare this one to that I think would be like a good companion with it.
Um,
Because I don't have my witchy books on top of my desk anymore, so I can't really.
I think there's one called "To Light a Sacred Flame" by Silver Ravenwolf. That was
Mm.
one that I read when I was a teenager. I would like to reread it again at some point, but I think that's supposed to be kind of in the same realm.
I don't have it in here with me, but I think I mentioned it earlier. The kitchen table magic. I'm blanking on the author's name, but I just recently finished it last month, and I really enjoyed that one. She also has a kitchen table tarot book that I want to get my hands on eventually.
I think I know who you're talking
I
about.
think it's Melissa Sinova, if I'm remembering now. It's,
Yes, you're correct.
yeah. That one was a really good resource for just like the basic stuff. And she like inspired a like breaking habit spell that I've started to do the last couple of moon cycles during
Mhm.
the waning moon cycles. So, and it has that new book smell, and it smells also like the shop that I got it from. So it has the incense and new book smell to it. So I'm like huffing it the entire time I was reading it. It smells so
I
good.
like when you get books like that from the metaphysical stores, and then they're like they come home smelling like it.
Mm-hmm. All right, so next month's pick for December is The Secret History of Witches by Louisa Morgan. It's going to be a reread for me, and I'm excited. I haven't read it in a couple of years, but I know it was another favorite of mine, so I'm excited.
I'm hoping my library gets that copy in soon so I can start it.
Yeah, and I also need to start House of Sky and Breath soon, because I haven't started that. But I've also read it before, so it'll just be refreshing my memory.
Yeah, I need to read that one. At least the first half of it.
Yeah. I am thinking of doing the next live show January 6th, if migraine day pending.
Let's see. What day is that?
It's the first Saturday. That should be a book I can get if I don't have to wait a million years almost for it. Hopefully.
Yeah, that should be good. Just send me the date and whatnot so I can put it in my calendar.
Okay, where's my piece of paper that I haven't made a note on earlier? Ah, there it is.
Let me see. You said January 6th.
Yeah. Same time. That is
I'll put it
pending
in.
if my migraine days don't flare up again like they did yesterday.
Ugh.
But yeah, I will eventually have the thumbnail and stuff created. That should be something that I'll get done today, but I will try to at least make an attempt of creating that next live show since I have StreamYard up.
Yeah.
I need to make it. So that should be something I'll schedule just once we get done. But is there anything else that we haven't discussed or went over?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us as we did a quick rundown of this month's book. Don't forget, we do have on the Witches on Discord, we do have a section for the So Mote It Be Book Club where you can chat about each month's books. The announcement video for quarter one will be coming out soon for next year. Let me go back. I have it scheduled for the 6th, but it could be pushed back to the 8th because I'm gonna edit a vlog today for Vlogmas, so that will probably make that video push back. But at least by Friday this week, the quarter one picks for next year will be live. So keep an eye out for that. And then it will be also be posted in the Discord whenever I do have that go live. But thank you all for joining us, and we will talk to you later. Bye.